Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well in this really wet and horrible Monday here in the UK. So firstly, a bit of exciting news. I have a new light set up, so hopefully all these videos will be in a lot better brightness and lightness, shall we say. Hopefully it'll look a lot more professional. And the other really exciting thing about these new lights is they mean that I can work at night, because at the moment, for years, I've been kind of struggling with working with sort of like daylight lamps and things like that. And even I've got like an easy reader lamp, I think it's called, and it's just, I don't know, it gives off like quite a yellow glare, and it's just not, I don't know, I just don't like it. I can't work at night. I find it really, really difficult. It gives me a headache. One of the biggest things is I find that the light just doesn't look the same in like at night compared to what it does during the day. So I don't know, I just haven't really used it. So I bought these new softbox lights because I figured that I wanted to make these videos a lot brighter, and as an added bonus, they are perfect for working at night. They are literally like having daylight coming through the window again, which is really, really great. So I'm hopefully gonna do like a little studio vlog this week. So hopefully when that gets done, I will show you what I mean and how they work. And I've had to move like a lot of the studio around, but in order to like let them fit properly, because they're massive. But hopefully they'll make a massive difference, and you'll see like a difference to the quality of these videos from now on as well. So housekeeping kind of side notes aside, the topic that I wanted to talk to you about today is something that's been on my mind for quite a long time, and I just wanted to pick your brains really and just get your thoughts and opinions on it. So it's something that's been, as I said, on my mind massively, and ever since I really started my art career, is why do I draw the way that I do, and can we sort of pinpoint the way that we work and the style of our artwork to maybe our childhood or our upbringing and things like that. So interesting enough, back in 2017 I was in a meeting with a fine art publisher, and they pretty much guessed my upbringing and my home environment just by looking at my portfolio. And I was quite shocked and surprised because, in my opinion, I was just like, well, I draw the way I do, and because I like it. I never really thought much more to it than that. And just, a little bit of background information, I guess, is I'm a Capricorn. I come from a very structured home environment, you could say. So my dad is ex-military and my mum is super corporate. Has always worked in a corporate company, always done sort of like the 9 to 5 grind. And I guess my parents have always prided themselves on keeping a very sort of clean and very tidy home. Like everything's got a place, nothing's ever left out. And my general upbringing and routine has always been quite regimented, and it's always been very, very structured. You're always meant to go to school and get the best grades you possibly can, do your homework on time. There's no sort of like, oh, don't worry about that. Do you know what I mean? It was all very sort of like, I wouldn't say strict, but it was very, very structured, I guess. My parents, especially my dad, views a lot of life as very sort of like black and white, and I think that's made a massive impact on the way that I work and also what I create. And I think it only really sort of hit me when I was in this meeting, because, as I said, she literally guessed why I do what I do. So I come from a background that's not particularly arty at all. As I said, my parents are super corporate, but I guess like realistic art is kind of been the thing that makes the most sense to me. I always remember when I was at college, I was at school, sorry, I was trying to produce something because they wanted me to do more abstract work, because interestingly enough, for those of you who didn't know, I actually failed art when I was at college. So I think it was when I was 17. So in the UK we have our when we leave sort of secondary school, we do a sort of we do 2 years at college before we go to university. It's sort of like a mid-school, you could say, and we get A levels. But in our first year, we get what's called AS levels, and I did art at AS level, and they failed me because I wanted to draw this kind of style, and they wanted me to draw or paint and just throw paint around on a canvas and try and come up with a reason why I'd done it, and I couldn't. So they failed me. But anyway, when I did a piece of abstract work and I took it home and I showed my parents, they literally couldn't really understand or comprehend what the point of the artwork was. Now, I'm not saying anything bad for people who produce abstract art, because I've seen some beautiful resin work recently, some alcoholic, I think it's like alcohol inks and coated by resin, and I think it's absolutely stunning. They're like the colours and like the metallic work and things like that, absolutely beautiful. But because of my parents' reaction, I guess it massively pushed me back into sort of like this realism. And not only that, it also pushed me back towards coloured pencil, because coloured pencil is such like a clean and precise medium. It's a lot, it doesn't smell, it's got a lot less mess than paint. You don't have to mix the colours that much, you know, you can kind of just have your colour chart and you just pick up your pencils and off you go. So when I had this meeting back in 2017, the art director literally said, do you come from quite a strict home life and sort of a small studio environment? And my answer was, well, yeah. I work out of like the spare box room, and my parents are very corporate and very structured, and she said, yeah, I can tell by the style of your work that you've had, you know, that kind of upbringing, because there's not a lot of creative freedom in what you do. And this has stayed with me for years now, and I would love to know if you agree or disagree. If you take a look back at your sort of upbringing, why do you do the style of work or create the way that you do? Now, I would say that the way that I draw has been with me probably since I was very young. I've always wanted to draw realism because it's the thing that's, I guess, it's made the most sense to me all the time. And even when I sort of wanted to do abstract work, I guess some other things that I could quickly say here is that I don't think the social media culture like Instagram and things like that have helped, because even though there is a market on Instagram for abstract work and for work that's not realism, the whole sort of setup of Instagram is everyone shows their most perfect life, don't they? So, and everything's very clean, everything's very polished, the things that get like the most views and the most likes are sort of like the lifestyles that are perfect, which, I mean, I completely disagree with this, and I'm not sort of saying it's a good thing at all, because I really don't think it is. I'm just literally telling you what I think at the moment, and this is why I use Instagram for work, but if I didn't have this business, I wouldn't be on social media, because I really don't like what it stands for anymore. But I think the thing that people relate to the most and sort of can interact with is when they see a very clear sort of finished, polished piece of artwork, and you can definitely sort of achieve that when you've got something a lot of people can relate to. And I think realistic artwork is one thing that a lot of people can relate to. Like, there's no ambiguity, there's no like, oh, what is that, or do you like that? I don't know. Like, people understand realism art, or realistic, especially pet portraits, a lot of people understand, and there's no, as I said, there's no like ambiguity. Is that a leopard? Is that something else? Like, is that a dog, or is that a giraffe? Do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, I think it's a very, very precise sort of, especially with colour pencil, or even pastel for that matter, or realistic. I mean, I'm not just talking about colour pencil, because there's realistic work or realism work that gets done like oils and things like that, but I'm just talking about realism work in general. I think there's a huge trend for realism work at the moment, and especially pet portraiture. So when I first started my business like 5 years ago, there wasn't really as many artists doing what we do now as there are now, as there are today, which is is an amazing thing, because it means that more people are sort of getting more confident with sharing their work, and I'm all for that, and sort of getting people's work shared and sort of growing this little art community. But yeah, I thought it was quite an interesting one. And obviously, I think the other thing that I would just quickly say is that obviously where I've built my business around doing commissions, doing realistic commissions, I think that when you kind of get into a groove of doing these, you kind of lose your creative freedom. I touched on it in my video where I talked about the pros and cons of commissions, because I feel like where I've done this style of work for so long, I find it impossible to do anything that's not so structured, and it really gets to me sometimes, because sometimes I just really wish that I could just pick up a paintbrush or even just sketch more freely, but I've trained my eyes to see exactly every single detail, which it's a good thing, but also it can get very, very frustrating, I guess. But anyway, yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts. I'm not going to take up too much of your time today. I just wanted to pop on here quickly and just share that little sort of insight with you, and just see what your thoughts were. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I hope you're having a lovely Monday, and hopefully this video will go live on the same day, otherwise it'll be like Tuesday, or wherever you are in the world, or whenever you're watching this. I'm gonna crack on and get a bit more of this commission done, and I'm gonna work on my snow leopard for Patreon. I will pop a link to my Patreon if you would like to come and support me over on there as well. And yeah, until next time, guys, I will see you very soon. Bye.